What's up? Welcome into Falcons Today by Chat Sports here on an Overreaction Monday after the Falcons picked up a nice win, 23-20 over the Browns. Couple in a row for Atlanta here as they're actually tied in first place in the NFC South. Some takeaways, some news, some rumors to hit on today's video as we move on into Week 5 here on Falcons Today and in the NFL season. Welcome in. I am your host, Harrison Graham. Appreciate everybody for clicking on this video as we are here to talk about your Atlanta Falcons. Hey, if you told me the Falcons would be 2-2 through 4 games, I would take it, especially after an 0-2 start. Let's talk about the news of the day, though, here on a Monday, and that is around running back Cordarrelle Patterson, who has been placed on IR with a knee injury, had a minor procedure on Monday morning, which means he's going to miss at least the next 4 games. Short-term IR means you have to miss at least 4 weeks, and obviously this is a blow for Atlanta because Patterson's been running the ball really well so far this season. Had a monster game a couple of weeks ago, was off to a pretty good start this past game when he had 9 carries for 38 yards, but luckily for Atlanta, they got some help. Tyler Algier had a strong game. So did their other running backs as well. Cordarrelle Patterson, losing him for a little bit of time is obviously going to hurt, but Caleb Huntley stepping in there, playing at a pretty good level. Algier, like I mentioned, as well. Hopefully you can get by with what you got. I do question the depth a little bit here, but Tyler Algier is a guy they liked coming out of camp. He stepped up and played pretty well. And then obviously I just mentioned Caleb Huntley as well out of Ball State. Really like the way he's running the football, 56 yards and a touchdown against the Cleveland Browns. But Cordarrelle Patterson, more than just the production, he's a rah-rah guy. He's a leader for this football team, so obviously going to miss his presence over the next month or so. Make sure you guys subscribe to Falcons Today, and we'll do a Cordarrelle Patterson replacements video either tomorrow or Wednesday as well. So hit that sub button, be on the lookout for that, as the Falcons could be in the market for a running back sooner rather than later. So go ahead and subscribe. So Falcon Stubs, baby. Let's keep this momentum going here on Falcons Today. All right, some Week 4 takeaways. Offensive line played awesome. The O-line was fantastic against a good Cleveland Browns defense in this Week 4 matchup. I thought it was really, really impressive what this starting offensive line was able to do in this game for Atlanta. Jake Matthews, coming into the season, guys like Elijah Wilkinson, I did not see him having a good year, but he's actually been playing pretty well. Caleb McGarry's playing some good ball. These guys really, really stepped up. And how about Chris Lindstrom specifically? Look at the PFF numbers. Pro Football Focus, not the end-all, be-all, but I think their offensive line evaluating and grading is pretty good. 97.1 grade against the Browns. He's over 91 through 4 games. That is the number 1 rated offensive guard through the first month of the season. A round of applause to Chris Lindstrom, who continues to play at a very, very high level. Caleb McGarry had a big-time performance as well. He had a 89.5 overall grade. Run blocking 90, pass blocking 80. Those are well above average numbers. 90 is fantastic on PFF system. 80 is very good. 89.5 overall. That is really, really good work from the Falcons right tackle. So good to see that this group's playing well up front, and quite frankly, it needs to, because we know Atlanta is not loaded at quarterback right now, right? So you need to block well for those backs, be able to run the football a little bit here, and that'll continue to be the case, especially now without Cordarrelle Patterson. Some other guys in their PFF grades, the center Dahlman there, 77.2, that's above average. Elijah Wilkinson, 77 above average. Jake Matthews, 67.3, that's more in the average category, but if 1 out of your 5 linemen if your worst lineman's playing at an average clip, that's pretty good, because 4 out of your other 5 are playing at a really, really good level. So kudos to the big fellas up front. Hopefully they had a steak dinner after that game. What's happening to Kyle Pitts? What's going on here? Now, part of this is Marcus Mariota is just not completing a ton of throws right now. He went 7 for 19, but Kyle Pitts, 1 catch, 34 snaps. What the hell is going on? Like, this is a guy you took in the top 10 last year, and he's a guy that should be ascending, not declining. He had 1,000 yards a year ago, and he's like kind of a non-factor right now. Something's up with Kyle Pitts. I don't like the way this is trending. Parker Hesse, he's leading the way with snaps and catches. Come on, Arthur, let's go. Like, I get Hesse can be in there as a blocker, but Kyle Pitts needs to be playing 90% of offensive snaps. He needs to be featured in this offense. This is the only negative in today's show. Now, that's the good news, that Kyle Pitts not being a factor is the only negative. The good news is you're 2-2. You've won 2 in a row, and you're finding ways to win football games when, many people, me included, thought, this could be the worst team in football. That's not the case. Atlanta's competing their ass off right now, but I want to see Kyle Pitts involved. I'm not a big fan of how this is trending on that front, but hopefully it improves soon, because imagine what this team could be if Pitts gets involved more. That would be very, very nice to see. BetUS is a nice website to go to because it's a sportsbook partner that offers you a chance to go bet on games, and we are offering you a great deal. Go to chatsports.com/betfalcons. Promo code Falcons125 to get a 125% deposit bonus. When you put down $100, you get an additional $125 for free, some extra money to play with. I made some money this weekend. You guys can as well. Chatsports.com/betfalcons. Go have some fun. BetUS, place to go to bet on the NFL. Deja vu on defense? What do you guys think? We'll explain this one moving forward here on today's show as we continue with our takeaways here on Atlanta Falcons Today through Week 4. Game ended last week the same way. You just want to be able to find that consistent play, right? Grady Jarrett had the sack before the interception. Now he's up to 30 career sacks in his career. Last week, Jarrett had a sack, Richie Grant interception. This week, you do the same thing, so it's nice to see the Falcons' defense close out here. Can they do that consistently? This defensive group is playing better than, quite frankly, I thought it would coming into this season. You hold Cleveland to 20 points. That's all you can really ask for. Obviously, the Browns are playing with Jacoby Brissett, but Brissett's been playing pretty well. So I think all in all, a pretty good performance by that group. We know Grady Jarrett's a vet. He's a very good player. Kind of interesting to see the same result 2 weeks in a row. How do you guys grade the Falcons' defense right now? Scale it from 1 to 100, 1 being it sucks, 100 being it's awesome. I'd probably give it like a nice solid 80 right now. I think it's playing pretty good ball. We know about A.J. Terrell in the back end, Grady Jarrett. You got Richie Grant making plays. I'm excited about this team right now. This is a young, fun team. We'll see how many wins they get this year, but so far so good. All right, let's talk about the guy I just mentioned, A.J. Terrell. Casey Hayward shutting things down on the back end. A.J. Terrell, in my opinion, is a top 5 corner at this point. I mean, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the National Football League. And Casey Hayward as well, coming in here and showing that veteran presence. He's got a breakup. He's a good tackle. He can play slot or outside. I think bringing in a vet like that was valuable for this team. A.J. Terrell, 4 breakups this year, not getting targeted a lot, but what he is, he's making plays on the football. We know how good he is, and good for him too. The Falcons were ridiculed a lot when they made that pick, and it has paid off and then some for the Atlanta Falcons. You look at what he did to Amari Cooper. Cooper had 1 catch for 9 yards in this game. That is shutdown city, baby. A.J. Terrell showing up and showing out for the Atlanta Falcons. Casey Hayward doing his thing as well. You take away a team's opposing number 1 receiver, you're going to have a good chance of winning football games. All right, takeaway number 5. Could the Falcons compete for the NFC South? It's not impossible. Look at the standings right now, guys. They're right there with the Bucs, who they play this week. Carolina stinks. I still think the Saints could be a good team, but they're off to a poor start. And, dude, the Falcons should have beat them in Week 1. Had they not blown that, they'd be 3-1 on top of the South. You can't harp on that negative, but we know the Falcons can beat the Saints. They should have in Week 1, which would have been a double whammy because the Saints would be 0-4. So I'm going to ask you guys, can the Falcons win the South? Can they win this division? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I still think clearly the Bucs are favorites, but what if you go beat the Bucs this week? Bucs have not been invincible. They're 2-2. They've had some flaws. They're struggling to run the football. They're better than the Saints and Panthers right now, in my opinion. I wouldn't completely rule it out for the Atlanta Falcons. If nothing else, they're much more competitive than a lot of people thought they would be. So let me know what you guys think. Can the Falcons win the NFC South? Type Y for yes. Type in for no. Get your votes in down in the comments. We'll see you next time here on Falcons Today.